Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. I have another Monday quarterback video for you. I'm going to play this video and talk about things that are going on, I better explain what's going on, and talk about things that I think that are being done right and or done wrong. Here we go.
Hello, I'm Sergeant Phil Krinsky with the Phoenix Police Department's Public Affairs Bureau. The information, audio, video, and pictures you're about to see are intended to provide details as we currently understand.
Alright, so they must have a pretty large department and a pretty large public relations department, because there's been like 3-4 different people I've seen doing these videos. That's a lot of people for public relations, public information officer, or whatever. I don't know. I just noticed that.
Them of an officer-involved shooting that occurred at about 5 p.m. September 10th, 2022. This video may contain strong language as well as graphic images, which could be disturbing to some people. Viewer discretion is advised. This incident occurred in the area of 39th Avenue and Cactus Road when residents in the neighborhood called 911. The callers told 911 operators that a man was armed with a samurai sword and was striking the fence near the employee parking lot gate at the police station. Here's the audio from the 911 calls, the first coming in at 5 p.m.
Phoenix 911, where is your emergency? Hello?
Yeah, I'm outside the Cactus Park Police Department.
Uh-huh.
There's a guy with a samurai sword. He's hitting the fence at the where the cops come in and out, where the gate is.
There's like a suspicious guy with a camera by where the officers exit their vehicles?
Well, he's damaging the fence. He's wearing a brown tank top. He looks a little mentally disturbed, to be honest with you. He's about 5'8", 180 pounds.
Is it by like the vehicle exit, just so I understand which fence?
Yeah. I don't know what.
Okay, that's okay.
What street that's on?
No, I have the address. It's a precinct, so we got them all up here. Is he like, what's he doing to damage it?
Well, he's not really damaging it, but he's trying to.
What is he using, like a tool, or what's he doing?
Oh, it's a samurai sword. It's like a 3-foot sword.
He's swinging a samurai sword? That's wild.
Yeah.
Where's your emergency?
It would be Cactus Park Precinct, 39th Avenue and Cactus Road.
Okay, what's going on there?
There's a guy outside with a samurai sword hitting the fence and stabbing through the fence towards where the police pull in to park their vehicles. It'd be towards the north side of the parking lot by the gates where they pull in. I just drove by there and I was like, I even honked at the guy, and he was stabbing through the fence. He just kept hitting it. It's a white male, brown hair, brown beard. It looks like he's wearing like a white tank top, black shorts. And I just live right down the street.
Okay. Did you see a knife on him?
Oh, he's got a samurai sword on him.
Oh, samurai sword. Okay.
And he's flat.
What the fuck is with these dispatchers? That guy clearly said samurai sword. Oh, does he have like a knife? Nah, bitch. This is a fucking sword. A samurai fucking sword.
Crashing at the fence, stabbing through the fence. And that was a helicopter overhead, so I don't know if that's what that's going through now.
Witnesses saw the subject walking to the fence by the employee entrance of the precinct and pulling out a sword from his waistband. The subject then began hitting the fence with the sword for several minutes. Here is the home video surveillance captured from across the street.
So here's one thing
Approximately
that some people don't realize. A police station or a precinct may not be even fully staffed with people there, or a whole lot of people there. In a lot of places, there's just one police station, right? During business hours, Monday through Friday, there is, likely to be admin personnel who will be inside the building doing regular work or whatever. September 10th, that's a Saturday, looking at my calendar. So there's no admin people there. if there's anybody there at the station or that precinct, it could be a supervisor who's inside working on reports, doing other supervisory things, They could be in the dispatch room, if that precinct has a dispatch room. I don't know if it does or not. Or someone could be in the break room eating their lunch. So just because it's a police station does not necessarily mean that they're always going to know what's going on right at the edge of their property at all times. So it's not out of ordinary for someone to be doing this shit and none of the police notice it, because there may not be any police there. And if there is, they're probably well deep within the building, like I said, in a break room. Maybe they're in the evidence room, logging evidence in, putting in the safe or the drop box, whatever. Multitude of different reasons why, if there's any officers there, why they did not notice this shit going on. So, and I'll tell people too, like the women who are concerned about being followed at night or whatever. A lot of people will say, drive to the police station. Well, I'll tell people, well, don't make that just your only option. Like, you need a call and tell them that you're going there. And ask, is there any officers there at the station right now who can meet me in the parking lot, or do they have to drive there to get there? Because sometimes at night, there are no police officers at a police station. It might just be the dispatcher there. So what good is it going to do if you're being followed and you pull into the police station and there's no fucking cops there? They're all on the other side of town, and one or two of them is driving towards the station. They just haven't got there yet. What if that person that was following has really bad intentions, and now that you're stopped, parked in a parking spot, and they pull in and block you, then what the fuck are you going to do? Nothing. You can't do shit. Moved on.
2 minutes later, a two-man patrol unit arrives. As the officers get out of their car, the subject begins to move towards the officers with the sword raised. The officers order the subject...
So they were jumping out so damn quick that either he forgot to put the car in park, or he did and it shifted out.
2 minutes later, a two-man patrol unit arrives. As the officers get out of their car, the subject begins to move towards the officers with the sword raised. The officers order the subject to drop the sword, but he continues. This is when the officer-involved shooting occurs. Body-worn cameras are used by all officers assigned to patrol and several specialty units. Per policy, they are worn at mid-torso level and capture the view of the line of sight from that perspective. It is important to note that the camera lens is fixed and does not capture everything seen or experienced by the officer. When activated, both audio and video turn on. The body-worn camera has a buffer of video without audio for 30 seconds prior to activation. This feature is designed to capture incidents that happen suddenly when the officer doesn't immediately activate the camera. Here's the body-worn camera video of one of the officers involved. There is no audio because the incident was captured during the 30-second buffering period before the body-worn camera was activated. After the shooting, the subject remained on the ground as a vehicle pulled up a minute later. A man driving the vehicle got out and began walking towards the subject. The officers gave the man multiple commands to stop. The man did, and he was detained. It was later determined he was the subject's father. Officers provided aid to the subject until fire personnel arrived. The subject was transported to the hospital where he died from his injuries. The sword used by the subject was recovered on scene. The officers involved in the shooting have been with the department for 2 years and are assigned to the Cactus Park precinct. This incident is subject to both an internal and a criminal investigation, which will be reviewed by the Maricopa County Attorney's Office. Conclusions about whether the actions of the officers are consistent with department policy and the law will not be made until all facts are known and the investigation is complete. Approximately 2 minutes later, a two-man patrol unit arrives. As the officers get out of their car, the subject begins to move towards the officers with the...
So that that happens more often than what you think. People pulling up and they're not putting the car in park, and they get out and boom, car keeps going. Or sometimes the gear shift, the gear selector does go out, and it can pop out of gear and it'll go roll forward. But they roll up hot, right? Now they know that they're going to a call where a guy is armed with a deadly physical weapon. And this is where one of my chief complaints comes into play about officers responding to calls like this. Them neglecting to get long guns out. I suspect that car most likely has a rifle in it. And I don't know if it's in the cab where the passenger officer would have been able to more easily access it, or if it was in the rear cargo hold of the vehicle. If it was in the cab of the vehicle, then the passenger officer should have got that rifle out, charged it, and had it ready to go before they ever got onto the scene itself. That way, when you dismount, boom, you've got a long gun to put into play. And a long gun is way better than a pistol. Long guns are more accurate because they have a longer barrel and they have more points of contact to stabilize it to make it more accurate. Whereas a pistol has a very short barrel, the minimal amount of movement can throw your rounds off, and that's more noticeable as distance is increased. And there's only 2 points of contact for a pistol, dominant hand and non-dominant hand. The terminal ballistics are night and day. Rifle ballistics very rapidly incapacitate threats, whereas pistol, not so much all the time. If it's in the cargo hold of the vehicle, then as they were en route, they should have stopped, let the passenger get out, go back there, grab that rifle, get back in the cab, charge it, take off. That's what I recommend. That's what I think is the best option before arriving on scene. Getting that rifle out of its stowage, whether that's in the rear cargo hold or it's in the front in the cage. Get it out, charge it, round in chamber, throw that sling around your neck, kind of like a 1-point configuration, almost like wearing it like a necklace. Have the muzzle and the barrel down between your legs, and then proceed to the call. It don't take that long, especially if it's in the front of the vehicle. Some people may even be able to get the rifle out while they are driving. They can steer with their knee, stabilize the steering wheel with one knee, get both hands, get that rifle out, rack it, throw the sling on. Some people are, multitask talented like that. Other people not so much. Other people do need to stop. If it's in the rear trunk or the cargo hold, yeah, you're definitely going to have to stop the car. That doesn't take very long. Just a few seconds. But when you roll up on scene and you've got a rifle already charged up, already on you, you can quickly dismount that vehicle and put that rifle into play. Now let's say the dude with a samurai sword had a gun. Boom, they roll up, they hop out, they get handguns. Handguns versus rifles, not the greatest thing. Well, let's say they roll up on scene and they say, oh shit, we need a rifle. Well, they're not going to have time once they're on scene to get that rifle out. What if it's just one guy? You expect someone to take their eyes off the threat, take their handgun, put it back in his holster so they can use both hands to get this rifle out and charge it and put it into play? No. You're already going to be behind the curve. Once you get on scene and you don't have your rifle out. It's best to get that damn thing out, charge it before you ever get there. That way when you do get there, boom, you put that damn thing into play as fast as possible. Body cams. While en route to something, I think it is the best practice to turn the fucking camera on before you ever get on scene. You're rolling up to the scene, turn the damn thing on. That way, when you get out of the car, it's one less thing for you to have to worry about. Luckily, they caught this on the pre-event buffer. Sometimes some people wait too long to activate the camera and they miss everything that could have been on there. for the most part, there's other stuff to help back up their version of the events. Other times, there's not. And so there's this big question of, did that really happen or not? And of course, the anti-police crowd will say, oh no, that's not the way it happened. Nope. That officer was a racist murderer. He killed that person of color because they had different skin color. And they'll make up all this bullshit. And there's no way for that officer to say that's not fucking true, because their goddamn camera was not fucking turned on. So the best thing is to have that camera turned on, recording, before you ever get out of the damn car. That way you don't miss shit that's important that could exonerate you. And it's one less thing you got to worry about. You keep both hands on your fighting tool versus take one off to try and turn on a fucking camera.
There is no audio because the incident was captured during the 30-second buffering period before the body-worn camera was activated.
Now, he did reach toward his camera, and you see him do the double tap, but we don't hear audio, so he must not have pressed it in deep enough.
Was activated. Was activated. Activated. Body-worn camera was activated.
So I don't know how many times he fires.
Before the body-worn camera was activated.
Maybe 6 rounds? Maybe 7. 6 or 7 rounds, possibly, that he fires. And you can see that big-ass sword right over there. Like, that motherfucker's huge. That's what she said.
After the shooting, the subject remained on the ground as a vehicle pulled up a minute later. A man driving...
So unfortunately, the father had to come here and find his son like that. That kind of sucks. Looking at a news article from AZ Family. This guy is 40-year-old Aaron Baughman. That's all this article says. It doesn't talk about anything about him. So this was September 10th. That's from... Alright, so here's another article. This is from October 10. This looks like they're just going to repeat exactly what was said during the critical incident video. Yep, this one doesn't show or talk about anything of interest. Yep. So sometimes good information is provided after the fact, and sometimes it is not. And this is another time where it doesn't look like any good information has been released after the incident. So I'm not going to waste any more time trying to find anything new on it. Dude obviously had some problems. I'd say that this is most likely going to be a person with some mental health issues, and it's probably a suicide by police kind of thing. Why else would someone go to a police station and start striking the fence with a sword? Yeah. Now, why was he striking the fence with a sword? I don't know. Maybe he thought that his samurai sword could cut through the fence and he was going to gain entry into the police station and then, get someone to shoot him. I don't know. I have no idea why he kept hitting the fence with a sword. But he turned and came towards the police with the sword. So that in of itself tends to make me think that he was suicidal and he wanted to die by suicide by police. when someone is suicidal, it's not like something sparks in their head that very same day and says, oh, you know what? I'm going to self-terminate today. Yeah, let's go do it. No, this is shit that's been in their head for some time frame. It may be days, weeks, months. Some people, maybe even a couple years, they've been thinking about this. Things going on in their life to cause these thoughts to pop in their head. Quality of life isn't so good. You know, their job fucking sucks ass. You know, no significant other, no good friends. You know, multiple. I mean, people kill themselves for many different reasons. But whatever the case is, it's like I said, it's something that has been festering there for some time frame. And when you think about that, the conditions of that person's life are in a state where it's not very good, and their mental health, what they've been thinking about, is negative. It's depressing. So they are going through this mental torture, this mental anguish for some period of time. And they're in a dark place in their head. And these feelings of loneliness and everything are persistent for a period of time. That sucks. Like, that sucks to think that someone has endured those feelings for a period of time. And to think, or for them to think, that suicide is the best way to solve all the issues. That sucks. It really does. That's got, you know, the sympathy and empathy for them. But my sympathy stops for them the minute they decide they're going to cause someone else to do the work for them. That's where I say that's fucked up. It's not fair to force another person to do that work for you. These guys didn't want to go out there and do this shit. These guys didn't wake up that morning or that afternoon and be like, yeah, bruh, today's the day. I'm gonna fucking shoot someone, yeah. They don't fucking think that shit. There are lots of times where police should be shooting people and they don't fucking do it. Why? Because they don't want to. That is literally the last goddamn thing they want to fucking do. There are times where force can be used, but instead they are able to successfully use a lesser amount of force, some less lethal means, to resolve the situation. And they go that extra length, that extra mile, to avoid having to shoot someone, because they don't want to fucking do that. They don't want to do that thing. But anti-police people will say otherwise. They will say cops are trigger-happy, murderous people. If that was the case, if the millions of officers out there were trigger-happy and murderous, we would see a lot more fucking dead people than what we do. A lot fucking more. Because when you look at officer-involved shootings per year versus how many officers are out there, it's a pretty small number. Really small number. Especially compared to the millions of cops out there. So, no. Police are not trigger-happy, murderous people. That's just some bullshit fucking propaganda made up by anti-police people. Anyway, not much else to say about this video. If you like what you hear and see, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more Monday quarterback videos. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching.